So hey guys, it's Zions again, back on the battlefield. This is the second usable game I got playing with Culprit and the guys, and it's another nail-biter. At least it was for us, though you may not actually see the nail-bitey parts because I just took the choice clips. Regardless, I wanted to talk about something that came up for me when I was watching a Machinima Respawn video the other day. Yes, it was a Call of Duty video because I like watching those. But it was something the PC elitists or PC preferred among you will enjoy. It was a mod. Something that I think a lot of games today, if not need, then could certainly use to expand their horizons. If we need nothing else to prove this, we need to look at Skyrim. Now, Skyrim has about 200 hours of usable content if you do absolutely everything, and I know that number changes every time I mention it. But the mods to that game, not just the locations or find item mods, but there are whole quest lines, whole full-blooded quest line mods to that game that add 10-15 hours worth of content that you don't have to pay for, and that people will buy Skyrim and are still playing Skyrim because of. But this was a mod of Modern Warfare 2 that brought in the war mode from World at War. And never having played the war mode on World at War, I thought it was interesting to look at, and I know enough of the mechanics from watching various videos to understand it. But one of the comments on the video was, "Mods are illegal, but this is awesome still." So while I credit the commenter for at least knowing that the idea itself is a good one, his ignorance about the concept of PC versus console mods, it irked me. And it also irked one of the responders to the comment who said quite clearly, facepalm. And it's something of a problem that I see for the younger generations or the console generations in gaming. And I will extend this metaphor out if I have time. But for the kids and adults, because I know there are adults who don't understand this, who grew up as gamers on the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, and who don't have the knowledge or the history with the PC platform, they don't understand the concept of a mod. At least in the PC sense, as a lot of old-time PC gamers understand it. A mod on console is you have Call of Duty modded lobbies. You have the changing of mechanics for the benefit of a couple people. You have people modding their console hardware such that they can get an advantage, or they can open up the airflow so that the Xbox doesn't overheat as much. And yes, the commenter is correct to say that it does void the user agreement that you quote-unquote sign upon buying the console. And without knowing in the law behind everything, I know that it is a breach of contract, which is technically illegal, so he's correct to say that mods are illegal, but his ignorance is that he equates a PC software mod with a console hardware and software mod. And for me, stupidity is not as great a sin as ignorance. When an intelligent person says something because of lack of knowledge and claims it as true, is quite different to me than someone not understanding something because they can't. Because for whatever reason, even if they're smart in other areas, in this particular area, they don't get it. Much in the same way that I don't understand programming or chemistry. I'm stupid when it comes to those things. I don't mind them saying something stupid because they don't know the difference between what they're saying and what's true. Whereas an ignorant person has the capacity to understand what it is he's talking about, but is either too lazy, hasn't taken the time, or hasn't looked to find the information he's looking for, and so simply assumes certain equations, such as software PC mods and software and hardware console mods. And without mentioning anything in particular, I want to just extend this metaphor out to politics and religion and a lot of other life things that matter. I mean, video games, they matter, they're serious business. But when you think about the context of our real life, when you have tragedies like the one that's happened recently, and religious arguments, when someone says something about a belief or an opinion without having an intellectual grounding on what they want to say, it's our job not to simply sigh and not correct them. It's our job to not only educate them, but tell them that the next time they want to say something like that, at least have the decency to go and look at what they are trying to talk about. Because if you're talking about law, and you're not a lawyer, and you have no legal training, and it's a law you are not familiar with, you lose the argument simply by default. You've lost it because there was never an argument on your side in the first place. You didn't have any information to base your argument on, thus, you lose. And as a person who loves winning, and who loves winning arguments especially, I don't like it when someone loses an argument by default in the way I've mentioned, but attempts to justify their argument anyway, on the grounds that they just know better. They understand it on a level that you just don't quite get. Not because of any real piece of information, but because, oh, I just know better than you. And I feel like that's something that's especially true in the video gaming culture and the internet culture in general, because you're anonymous, there's nothing to stop you from saying what it is to say. And the internet being this Wild West where anything goes, stupidity and ignorance are becoming synonymous, and they shouldn't.